lead shot. Come on. Yeah!
Needs it.
It is time for the BowlTV Classic, ladies and gentlemen, the second event of the PWBA Classic Series in Grand Rapids. What a moment it could be for one player. We've got a blend of experience and some new faces, and that's all next on BowlTV. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Spectrum Lanes, again inside the Spectrum Entertainment Complex for the PWBA Classic Series Grand Rapids. It is event number 2. We have reached the Stepladder finals of that event, and it is the BowlTV Classic. Along with Sydney Brummett, my name is Emil Williams Jr., and pleased to be here with you again. And Sydney, we've got 5 players yet again, but a mix of experience, some new faces, just like previously in Grand Rapids. Only this time, the pattern is much different. The scores were much higher, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know who's going to win.
I don't either. We only have one repeat on this top 5 with Hope Gramley. Past that, we got a bunch of new faces.
It is new faces, and speaking of Hope Gramley, she was able to claim the 4th seed. You hear Robin Graves finishing the announcements here. Kelly Kulick and Hope Gramley on your screen currently. For Hope Gramley, this is her official rookie season, Sid, and you couldn't have asked for a better start to her rookie campaign. She is making her 2nd consecutive show of this Classic Series, her 3rd of the season. And she told me before the show, I asked her what's it going to take to get the win tonight, and she said simply she's got to execute shots better, and that's a direct takeaway from her performance in the Grand Rapids Classic.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw a not-so-characteristic performance from her just 2 days ago. And she gets to take that information, soak it in very quickly, and bring it to today. I think that's an advantage on her part to not have to wait a long time to get to that next show. Just 48 hours.
48 hours? Well, another 48 hours if you're a movie buff out there. Kelly Kulick, the USBC Hall of Famer, someone that we can all relate to in some degree, right? She has made history multiple times over. And here she is again at age 46, looking for her 8th career PWBA title. When you look at Kelly, and I know someone like yourself who is still a young player, you've had Kelly, I'm sure, as one of those idol type of players. When you see her make another show, what does it mean for you? And then secondly, what does she have to do to get this done?
Well, I think, first of all, Kelly is like a living legend to a lot of us. We look at our cross every week, and we're like, ooh, okay, I get to cross with the Hall of Famer, or I get to cross with Kelly. And, you know, for us girls, watching Kelly continue to win just allows us to understand we're out here for a long time. Having one bad week isn't a bad thing. Having a bad season isn't a bad thing, because you never know. You could be, did she say she's 46?
46 years.
I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't know that. Being 46, I can still be out here and I can still compete, and I can give myself the opportunity to win. For Kelly, it's just going to be enjoying the moment. I think she doesn't bowl the entire tour this year, so she gets to pick and choose what she's bowling. I think that gives her an advantage.
The number 3 seed tonight, it's Stephanie Zavala, the 2021 PWBA Rookie of the Year, in search of her 5th title. Hard to imagine what she has done, but she's got one of the most ferocious ball rolls and strike balls on tour. That was evident throughout the week as well.
Oh, absolutely. Stephanie is a pleasure to watch, and even more of a pleasure to bowl with and against. She's always one who you can expect to find a way. You know, I spoke about it a little bit today during this round of 12 match play, the 2nd round. She's gritty. She's shown that, and it's amazing to watch her. I'm excited to see what she'll bring to this telecast today.
Gritty without. That's the young woman who once rolled a 96 at the PWBA Tour Championship in the first game of match play, went on to make the show and make up a 300-plus pin deficit. The number 2 seed tonight, Melanie McDaniel, making her first career PWBA telecast. One of those dream come true, certainly. She has been through some stuff, had some injuries, but been lately putting in the work, and that work certainly paid off here at the BowlTV Classic.
For sure. Melanie took a little bit of time off. Sometimes we do that. We're out here, you know, in theory for about 11 weeks straight, but with Melanie, she had the courage to take that time off, do what was right for her. It's paying off for her.
And the number 1 seed, Shannon Pluhowsky, the lone lefty, Not her first time in that position. She will be fresh. She's going to take minimal shots on the left side of the lane on the TV pair. Can she get it done in one game?
Yes, I can say that confidently. I crossed with her. She absolutely can.
Excellent work, Sid. Thanks to Jason Thomas, and good evening to all of you. Folks, we have reached the time. Kelly Kulick, Hope Gramley, Hope the number 4 seed, and for the first time, Sid, since we've been working together, the higher seed has chosen not to begin the match.
This is wild. Wild. I feel like the universe is upside down.
Something is off.
Something is wrong. There's going to be like flying pigs when we go outside, I think.
First shot, Kulick. We're underway. And that's a strike for, I love that you phrased it, the living legend. You know, she, along with Liz Johnson, those two of those great players, obviously, and arguably, depending on who you ask, the greatest of all time. But to see Kelly in this magnitude, she wants to win every single time out, and there's no question about it.
She's almost so competitive that it's like you don't know how to take her sometimes. And she can come off really intimidating. But we heard her kind of joking with the crowd before she got started, like, you guys can talk while we're practicing. She's one of the more human people on tour, I would say, for someone who is such a living legend. She's amazing.
First shot from Hope Gramley, a beautiful one. You see the replay. And we saw Hope late in the match play rounds, kind of similar to what we saw in the Grand Rapids, lose a little bit of the ball reaction. She did have some struggles with some single pins throughout, but again, she managed to keep the emotions in control and do what she had to do late to make this show. These two did tie at plus 768. They tied for the 4th spot. The tie was broken due to the high qualifier, which being Hope Gramley.
Isn't that crazy? After 24 games, we find a way to tie with bonus pins.
Frame 2, high flush.
We're going to know what every jersey Hope has looks like, I think, by the end of the season.
That's a good thing there. Early double again for Gramley. Kulick now trying to match. Frame 2 is a good look at Kelly. Oh,
maybe.
Oh, no. Messenger in front of the 10 pin. But it wasn't a rigging 10, so we can keep our money in our pockets.
Absolutely. Kelly and Hope's ball reaction is a little different currently. Hope's is continuing through the pins, much stronger than Kelly's is. Her ball's going a little bit more forward down lane. Now, granted, on a shorter pattern, that is what you would like to see for most people, simply to know your ball's going to stop hooking.
Momentary reset. Double check the fit and everything was good. Kelly takes care of the spare. Match play was rocking and rolling. And a lot of close calls. Liz Colgan nearly made this show.
I thought she was going to do it.
Brianna Andrew, native to Grand Rapids. She had the crowd in a frenzy. She nearly made this show. Third frame, Kelly liked it.
Great shot. That looked a lot better going through the pins. You're going to see the ball continue through the 8-9 perfectly. When we're competing, we really want to watch how our ball goes through the pins. That's the most important part of watching our ball motion. It's the kind of the crystal ball into what's going on front to back before the ball hits the pin deck. So the one that flat 10'd, her ball went a little bit more through the 9 pin, meaning it's rolling out compared to on the left lane.
For 3 in a row. Oh, she'll take that messenger. Again, Hope focusing in on execution. She didn't feel like she executed as good as she could have and knows she can. And that shot pretty good there.
Absolutely. Off her hand seemed a little firmer to me than the first two, knowing that she doesn't have to be perfect and the ball is still going to give her the opportunity to get 10. It's a really fun place to play from.
Get that arm swing nice and loose, comfy. Pin advantage for Grambling. Beautiful shot from Hope. And quite frankly, last time we saw Hope, she was dominated by Dasha Kovalova. Dasha shot 260 at her, but it looks like it's going to be at least 3-4 frames. Perhaps the other way around from the mindset, certainly, of Hope Grambling.
She seems much different. When we saw her 2 days ago, she was trying to strike, and usually that does not result in very good execution, like you said. Her focus has shifted towards that execution. When you take care of that first, the result will follow.
Kelly, a double. When you see Kelly get that step out with the fist pump, you know she liked it. There it is. That's patented right there.
I'm back here shaking my head because it's like you're watching a movie. It's like, oh, I've seen this before. We've hit rewind. The first thing that comes to my mind right now is, you know when you're like playing a video game and you get choose your character. Like I would totally choose Cal.
Right now, down 20. Three. That one's through the nose, and a very good break there, only leaving the 4-pin.
That is quite fortunate, especially on 29 and 30. We've learned that it's easy to split on this pair. The back ends, as we like to say as competitors, are a little crispy. Ball wants to go sideways down there, especially on the fresh.
Like crispy, like can we cook on this crispy? Like,
it feels like it sometimes. Like a little forest fire down there.
all right, Kel handles the spare. Players are bowling on a 36-foot lane condition, 25.48 mils. It is a short pattern, and the scoring pace certainly agreed with the short pattern. In fact, the only 300 we've had this week, despite the high scores, just one from Kelly Kulick, and it happened in Game 6 of Round 1 of match play. As Hope steps up with a 21-pin advantage, looking for 5 in a row. Looking for some carry. 10-pin remains. Early run ends for Hope.
That's good news for Kelly. If that one strikes, it's left of where Hope intended it for it to be, down lane. If that one strikes, Kel's in a lot of trouble. But with a 9 spare here, Kel stays within 20. That's more than doable to come back from.
All right, good spare. That's a smile. I mentioned Hope had a little bit of an issue with some single pins this evening during round 2 of match play. She took care of business there. Sid, you had a chance to compete on this lane condition. For you, and then of course as we watch this pair be broken down, what were some of the keys for you, and what will be some of the keys for all 5 players here to manage this lane condition? We can answer right on the other side of this Hope shot. Oh!
Yeah, it was important to make sure you were throwing a bowling ball that wanted to get through the front part of the lane. On a short pattern, we don't usually see that. We'll see a lot of people throwing bowling balls with a ton of surface and being extremely forward with their hands, or even using urethane. But this week, that wasn't really the case. We could use bowling balls that were a little cleaner through the front part of the lane. For example, Hope is using an IQ Tour Solid that is a little bit cleaner, but it's still smooth down lane.
Sixth frame, Kulick, Reed. Oh, goodness gracious. 8 pins, 8 pins. My, oh my, 8 pins. That's the second one we've seen on a TV show. Now we've seen some devastating ones here. Liz Culkin probably still has the 8 pin of the week, unfortunately. It was on the front 10. It was a little closer than that.
From our angle,
that she would have
I was a little
preferred.
scared. Kelly, very similarly to Hope, is using the same core shape from the Storm brands. She's using an IQ Tour. However, Kelly is using, rather than the solid, the IQ Tour Nano Pearl. So it's a little bit cleaner than what Hope is choosing to throw, which means it's going to be a little bit sharper down lane. A little bit more of a quicker motion.
Seventh frame. And a couple of pins there in the left gutter, as you saw. And does not connect with the 7. Here it is.
I thought that shot was great. It feels that Kelly's bowling ball is a little too forward down lane. It's not much. It's barely enough to not get 10 when it's just that slight off hit. If she's dead flush, she's going to get 10. It's what happens when I'm not perfect.
All right, wicket spare for Kulick. Both players out clean. Kulick through 7, Hope through 6. 22 pin advantage for Hope Gramley, former McKendree alum. She made the show in Spokane for her first of the season, and it was actually graduation weekend. Picked up her master's degree in athletic training, but the ceremony was going on in Lebanon, Illinois. She chose to bowl in Spokane. Seemed like a pretty okay decision. She made the show.
I do not blame her at all.
From Aubrey, Texas. Didn't like it. I think she'll take that based on the body language.
Yeah, absolutely. She's asking for it to hook. Like, come on, ball, do the right thing. I would love to see it get 1, maybe 2 boards further to the right. There's that guaranteed friction over there. It's going to help it get through the pins the right way.
It's a quick side note. Again, in between matches, we will have our BowlTV Gold Partner giveaways, courtesy of Brunswick, Rotogrip, and Storm. You said this one is, even though Hope's got this lead, it's a simple matter of carry right now for Kulick.
Absolutely. If you're Hope, you have to not focus on the name on the other screen, because if you do, you're going to realize really quickly I'm probably in a must-strike situation. It doesn't feel like it from a score standpoint. When you're bowling Kelly Kulick on short, which she has proven that she has the ability to strike a lot on, you have to know every time I don't strike, I'm giving Kelly another opportunity.
Look, a lot. Big strike in the 8th. Max score now 259 for Grambly. Again, this pattern is 36 feet. Kulick now back up. 8th frame, trailing by 22. He's got a chance. No
Great
A-pin
shot.
there.
That was phenomenal. She looked like she was wavering back and forth before throwing that shot. I saw her look at the ball reps, and when she picked up her ball, Kelly just isn't shy with her facial expressions. And she took a lot longer in her pre-shot routine than normal. And then you could see her kind of nod to herself and make this decision, like, okay, I'm going to stick with this. Yeah, you can see her pointing to her head, right? She has to just commit to what she's doing. We talked about it a couple nights ago. Conviction's important. Knowing what you're doing is going to be right is important.
Big shot, 9th frame. Trying to apply a little pressure. Stepped it out and a trip forward. Slap it out, Kelly Kulick. New Jersey's finest.
I have a couple kids on my college team that are from Jersey, and like I tell them when they do something silly, your jersey is showing a little bit. That's what I'd say to Cal right now.
Grambly now had that lead cut to just 12. Back score for Kulick, 237.
The last 2 times on this lane, Hope has 10 pinned.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That's perfect.
Right now, 9 spare strike. We'd hoped at 238. That would shut out Kelly Kulick. Anything less than that, or of course a strike here, and Hope's going to advance. Execution. She'll take it. Hope Grambly looking like, as you said, Sid, almost a completely different player here.
Absolutely. You can tell she's posting her shot. She's watching her ball roll over her target. She's doing exactly everything you'd need to do to win a match against a Hall of Famer.
It's not every day you get a chance to lace them up against one of the best to ever do it. But you're talking about somebody who just needs 5 pins to get it done. 10 is even better. And it's official. Hope Grambly will advance. She will face her number 3 seed, Stephanie Zavala.
We're going to see Hope try a different ball here. She's going to go from the IQ Tour solid to a phase 3.
.259 for Hope Grambly. Hey, folks, we're talking about right now, we get a chance to see Kelly. Again, every time we see Kelly and every time out, she told me, making this show lets her know and reinforces that no matter how much she ages, the drive, athleticism, and everything in between is still ingrained in her. She told me, said she's still attached to the game.
Absolutely. I was at the USBC convention not too long ago and went down to practice one morning. It was like 7 a.m. and Surefire Kel was there way before I was, and got to talk to her a little bit. She said she was excited to come out and bowl a couple of stops. And I just love seeing her out here, and I love seeing her make shows and continue to be successful.
As Kelly finishes up the game here, our remaining finalists will come over for some warm-up.
Final shot for Kelly, 259, 216. One of the best to do it, Kelly Kulick. She will fall to what could be and certainly is the future in Hope Gramley. Gramley, Zavala next, but before that, let's hear from Team Brunswick. And on the other side of that, a Brunswick bowling ball, a mindset. That's next on BowlTV.
We want to welcome to the PWBA Winner's Circle, Brianna Klemmer.
Liz Tolkien is the Long Island Classic champion.
Dasha Kovalova, your 2022 PWBA Pepsi Classic champion.
And congratulations to Birgit Norreich, your 2022 Queen's champion.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Match one is in the books as Hope Gramley defeats Kelly Kulick 259 to 216. We welcome you back to the booth. Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett, and a valiant effort certainly, Sid, from Kelly, but much like we saw in the opening match in the Grand Rapids Classic, which featured Hope Gramley also, this time she was the one, the aggressor in the match, and quickly got out in front of Kelly Kulick, and a nice game to get her through the next round.
Absolutely. It was a little cameo from Jay Bond there for a hot second, but absolutely. Hope took exactly what she needed to from her last match 48 hours ago and brought it into today. That's all you can ask to do. Normally, you make a show, you wait a month or two, maybe even a year, a whole nother season before you can take the information that you've learned and apply it, and how awesome that Hope got to do that just a couple days later.
Indeed it is, and she's showing it right now. By the way, folks, the Brunswick Mindset giveaway is officially underway, so make sure you click submit entry. If you are watching at full screen, make sure you get out of full screen. You can see the lower prompts, the lower left third of your screen. Again, thanks to Brunswick, a proud gold partner. We will have a ball giveaway from Roto Grip and Storm in the coming matches as well. So we take a look at Stephanie Zavala, 2021 Rookie of the Year on the PWBA Tour. Came out with a force, I would say, Sid, and you watch her as a peer. We all know about the striking ability, the tremendous ball roll, and here she is, her first opportunity of this season to win her 5th title. She's already got 4 titles in 2
absolutely.
seasons.
Stephanie is like nobody else on tour. It's what makes her so special, right? She has a high rev rate, and sure, there are a couple of other players that have high rev rates. But Stephanie sees the lane differently than most other women. She is very much earlier from a lane play standpoint than most other women are. She loops it through the middle part of the lane, is another way to say it, more than most women do. And so she's in this unique perspective where she doesn't really have the ability to compare herself to anybody else. She can't compare her results to anybody else. She's not like anybody else. So she's kind of on this little island alone, and it gives her such a competitive advantage that really helps her.
Congratulations. It looks like perhaps Christopher won a Brunswick Mindset. So be on the lookout for an email from the BowlTV crew, the marketing staff. They will use the email that you use to log in and out of BowlTV. Again, congratulations. 2 more bowl giveaways coming up next. Sid, from a lane play perspective, speaking of that, we watch where Hope has played. And obviously, again, the pattern is 36 feet. Stephanie has been able to play her game for the most part, especially down the stretch. We watched it up close and personal in match play. Will lane play, will it come down to lane play?
No, I don't think so. It'll just come down to who is throwing the most quality shots. Stephanie Zavala, we've seen her throwing an afterburner. I believe it's a short pin afterburner, meaning that it's going to be very smooth down lane, but it's going to be clean through the front part. I assume we're going to see her throw something similar. Hope, if I had to guess, is going to stay in this IQ Tour solid. So overall, they're both throwing bowling balls that give them similar shapes. Yes, they are completely different from a numbers perspective and a cover perspective, but it's what fits each player best to create what is essentially the same ball motion.
I want to give a shout out to Carol just outside of the building. She has been right there taking tickets and providing tickets, et cetera, and so forth. And she talked to me briefly, and she asked, hey, how can I win a ball giveaway? And I said, Miss Carol, I'm going to do my best. So, Miss Carol, we're 0 for 1. we got 2 more chances for you if we can get it done. All right, Hope Gramley versus Stephanie Zavala. Stephanie the higher seed. It looks like Hope will begin the match. Hope, by the way, 7 for 7 on the left lane in regards to strikes in the previous match. Can she make it 8 for 8? You bet. A 10-strike 259 in game 1 or match 1, and already off to a great start here against Zavala. Look at Stephanie here. I mentioned the racing-themed attire today. Hope still on that IQ tour. There's the piece of equipment mentioned, the afterburner.
Yeah, and I have to correct myself. It's not an afterburner. It's a burner pearl. They look super similar, both from 900 Global. The burner pearl was the later release after the afterburner was discontinued.
Certainly not what Steph was looking for there. 2-4-10 to start. That one just kind of labored as it got down lane.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by that. Hope has been throwing it in a similar area, so I was under the impression that that one would hook.
It's got a chance, and it started to hook. Interesting way to get count right there. So an early open there for Zavala. Let's take one look at how close it was. It was online for a minute. It started to hook, and all right, we'll take the 4 to the 10. Zavala quickly down 11 here. Again, the 4-time champion. She owned 2021. Of course, took home the Rookie of the Year and was in the mix for Player of the Year. She won 3 titles that season: Greater Cleveland Open, the BVL Open, and the Reno Classic. Last year, she took home the Tour Championship for her first major title. Second frame. It's the light mix to go.
It was crazy because Stephanie and I crossed together in that very first tournament that she bowled as a member. And that first tournament that you bowl as a member is like, it goes by in a flash, and you don't know what you're doing, and you don't want to be late to anything, and you don't want to make anybody mad. You don't want to do double jump wrong. And she was just like so prim and proper, and not that she's not prim and proper, but she was just extra conscious of what she was doing and how she was acting. And I think it hindered her performance a little bit because she could have bowled great there. And all of a sudden we start to see her come out of her shell in Cleveland. I did not have the opportunity to be in Cleveland, but I watched online, and it looked like 2 different people. And it was incredible to see her just blossom and come out of her shell and know that she belonged out here.
Good shot there by Hope. She did step out of that one. Came out of it, didn't quite stick the landing. And just leaves a 10-pin. Again, that ever so slight loss of leverage.
That was reminiscent of a lot of the shots that we saw from her just a couple nights ago, which is why she, in my opinion, is so honed in on her execution today.
Taken care of. It continues to be solid. In fact, to this point, that was just her third miss through what is now 12 frames.
That has to feel good, to know your bowling ball is doing the right thing when you just get it close. It's not like, I hope that every young woman that's watching at home realizes that she hasn't thrown every shot perfectly. Women tend to be perfectionists, and our coaches tend to want us to be perfectionists. We have to understand that good ball motion can allow us to be a little imperfect and still have great results.
Ooh, 9-pin wiggle. And that was even more than a wiggle. That was almost a timber, but no. Watch this sit. She wanted it to slow down.
Yeah, she got it to the dry really fast in comparison to her other shots. So she's going to ask it, like, lay off, stop hooking. And it almost did.
Again, IQ tour solid. A choice for Hope Gramley.
She's going to choose to hook up the spare.
High quality bowling so far here through one full match and 3 frames of the next for Hope Gramley. And now Zavala, who opened on the right lane with a 2-4-10. Now trailing by 10 here early. If there's anyone on tour, there's a few players now. You get them on the run of Strike City. Zavala, one of them. It nearly set a pocket 7-10 there.
Absolutely. This burner pearl is wanting to go just a tad bit too long. You can see it doesn't really want to change direction until it gets to that second rangefinder.
If this is you, is this a ball change?
Probably not.
Okay.
No, it's more of a, I want to move maybe 1 or 2 left and slow down. I just need my ball to pick up a couple feet sooner. The rule of thumb for me is always, if I'm hitting the pocket and my ball's not going through the pins the right way, I'm going to use a versatility skill because I know the ball motion is pretty close. Now, if I'm having inconsistent ball reaction, let's say I go 210, move just a little bit, go high and 4-pin, move a little bit back, 2-pin again, or miss the head pin. That's when I'm going to ball change and do something completely different.
Let's see if we'll see that here. Well, Zavala did get the light mixer here on the left lane in frame 2. Trailing by 10. Asked for a little help, and she got some.
Absolutely. You always hope the 6-pin does its job, just like that.
This left lane seems to be pretty good. Thinking about Hope, she's only missed once on the left lane. Zavala starts. Both of her strikes have come on the left lane.
Every time that I've flat 10'd this week and I thought, oh, maybe this lane is a little bit longer, I was wrong. Because then I would move a board right or slow down and I would 4-pin.
Oh my.
So if I had to guess, if I was bowling right now and I 2-10'd or flat 10'd, I'd actually be moving left and getting it to the dry sooner, because more than likely it means my ball is picking up early and bailing down lane. And when you're bowling by yourself, that's really hard to see because we can't see the first, 10, 15 feet of the lane. But here on tour, our ball reps can, our family, our friends can.
2-8-10 there from Hope on a shot that did not look that bad at all. And she will take 2. Interesting note, one obviously to keep an eye on. Mark that one in your books. Just like that, a lead change. Stephanie Zavala has taken that 4-pin advantage.
I appreciate that Hope is taking an extra second here to reset. Probably slow her mind down, slow the heart rate.
Left lane still is the one, though.
We saw it on our show just 2 days ago that the left lane was much tighter down lane. It was just much tighter overall. We saw a lot of women try to throw balls that hooked sooner on 29 in comparison to 30. And today we're seeing the opposite reaction, right? We went from bowling on a much longer pattern to a much shorter pattern. And so we're going to see the opposite effect. We're going to feel like lane 30 doesn't want to hook, where in reality it's just hooking so early that the balls want to go forward down lane, or they want to stop hooking, roll out, whatever term is popular in your area of the country.
And another 10-pin for Zavala. Right lane is getting very interesting. By the way, it's the first time Hope has trailed today. She held the lead throughout in her opening match against Kelly Kulick. If you are just joining us, Hope did defeat Kelly 259 to 216 in match number 1. Her 3 seed here, Stephanie Zavala. Number 2 seed, Melanie McDaniel, making her first career Stepladder finals, waiting in the wings. Top seed, Shannon Pluhowsky. Hold on. All right.
Deep breath there from Stephanie.
You mentioned heart rates. We talk about breathing in this situation. I mean, how much do players work just solely on that aspect to make sure they can kind of remain in a stable or even keel type spot?
The ones who are winning a lot, they work on it a ton. The ones who are wondering why they're not here, they're probably not working on it enough.
Zavala. Oh, and get some love on the 10-pin.
Go ahead.
I would say ring 10s want to stand up for Stephanie, but not much here.
Exactly. And I was just going to say, at this level, the difference between, Hope and Stephanie in this moment is going to be, the difference in this match is going to be each moment, how quickly can I get back to being in a good headspace. Like, both of them don't quite know what's going on in this right lane. So when they go bowl on the left lane, they have to mentally reset and be ready to throw that shot and know that, hey, I still know what's going on over here. What I do on 29 holds no limits on what's going on 30.
3-time Division II Player of the Year, Hope Gramley. Oh my. And there's something that certainly needs to take place. Now a 2-4-10. You can just kind of see that ball labor. We talked about it at first with Stephanie Zavala's first frame shot, but now that certainly has become more of a trend than just an anomaly.
Oh, absolutely. My head is screaming. I just wish that Hope's ball would get a board or two further right down lane. Just that little extra time in the friction would make all the difference between these 2 10s and what would possibly be strikes.
Oh, Bramley. I think she might have thought she cut that one just a little bit too close. The angle slightly off to the right, but she got it done.
It hooked just enough.
Some of Hope's facial expressions are just fantastic. The more you see a player, obviously in this situation, the more you see reactions and start to understand certain things and what they mean. Again, this is the second consecutive show made by Hope Gramley in this Classic Series. It's clear, Sid. It's left versus right. We're not talking about lefties versus righties. It's left lane versus right lane right now.
Oh, absolutely. On the left lane, the ball wants to get through the front part much easier. Therefore, it's also easier to get the ball to the correct location laterally down lane. So what I mean by that is on lane 29, because the ball wants to get through the front easier, it wants to get to that break point at 2, 3, 4, where on the right lane it's hooking so soon the ball doesn't even want to get there. So the girls will have to find the women will have to find a way to get their ball to that spot, whether it's throwing it faster, moving their eyes to the right, or moving their feet left.
That's gonna hook. Oh yeah. That shot certainly on the right lane. The best reaction. I thought she threw it pretty good. Some of the other shots that she's thrown in that lane, but that one was clear. She got it to the right spot.
Absolutely.
It's at a 14-pin advantage. And because Zavala, the higher seed, elected to have Hope begin the match, Hope is going to finish on the right lane. How about it, SZ? Yes, indeed. Downey, California native, and I believe just made the move out to Texas. Beautiful shot here.
It was a phenomenal shot from Stephanie. I was a little worried it wasn't going to go through the pins the right way. It was slightly left of target. When you miss, like I said earlier, you should not have to be perfect. If you do, you're probably not making the shell. Start there. But she's here, so she figured out something throughout this week to not have to be absolutely perfect and to just make great shots.
Watch Zavala, you know she's got a read now in the right lane. It's the most important shot of this match for Hope. Gotta have it on the right lane. Hook, bang.
She got that one to the friction much sooner. I kind of leaned back in my chair a little bit because when you do, you hope you moved your feet far enough left. It's not going to go high. Ended up working out perfectly for Hope.
Max score right now, 225 for Hope Gramley. Finished 5th at the 2022 USBC Queens, 3rd at the 2022 Pepsi Classic. 2 shows she made prior to becoming a member. Has already made her 3rd show this season. This is number 3. That's 5 shows. And we calculated earlier in just 14 total events for Hope. This is her official rookie season. Needs it. 9th frame. A beauty.
That one was huge from Hope. It makes Stephanie think about these next 2 frames a little bit more.
Zavala's lead down to 4. Max score for Stephanie, 239. Again, her best shot certainly on the right lane was in the 7th. She will finish on what certainly looks to be the better of the 2. my goodness. She knew it when she let that one go.
Quite left of target. The ball has to get right of 5 down lane for Stephanie to have a chance at striking. That one maybe got to 6, 7.
3, 4, 6, 10. I'm sorry, 3, 4, 6, 7. I beg your pardon. It's on line. Hook a little. No. 7-pin remains. And Zavala gave it all she had there. 3 into the 4. The ball hits the 6 and nothing clips the 7.
It's such a difficult spare to make. You have to be just perfect. You know, if it's just the 3, 6, 7, you know, hey, if I ace this, the 3 pin's gonna go straight into the 7. But when other pins come into play, you never quite know.
Zavala again, the best she can do is 203. She's gonna need it. Big shot there. If she does get to 203, 9 spare strike would get Hope to 204, and of course that would be a dub. But needs this all-important hit. Second shot in the 10th frame upcoming. Just joining us, Zavala left a mistake in the 9th. Gave Bramley the lead back. Second shot, 10th frame. Huge. Steph has had a few opportunities today. And again, this one kind of mirrors what we saw 1 or 2 matches during match play, where it looked like she had some matches won, just had to perform in the 10th. She had some late mistakes in those matches, kind of similar to what we're seeing here.
Unfortunately, we go on these runs as athletes where you feel like you shut out everybody and things are going your way all the time. There are moments where you're playing well, but it's suddenly like, man, I just feel like I can't finish them out.
Stephanie took a re-rack. Wanted this shot to be perfect. High flush, 9 spare strike for Hope Bramley. It's going to be a victory. Nine spare 9. Well, you know what that means. We already had a tie once this week, or I should say in the BowlTV Classic.
I know two. I know they don't want to tie. But like, they're fun to watch, you know?
We're certainly about to find out. On the lane that has not been her best in this game, Hope Bramley made the adjustment in the 8th. Does she have it in the 10th? Hook, hook. Oh, asks it to get up. Wow. And that is it, folks. Stephanie Zavala is going to advance. Sid.
I'm stunned. That's the worst I would have expected from Hope on that lane at this point. Would have been 9.
Wow.
Went a lot longer than she expected it to, than I expected it to. Makes me wonder if she missed it just a little bit at the bottom. That one's perfect.
You can see the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Well, a couple of tough lessons to learn here for Hope. But there's one thing that will not be disputed. She's going to win a title. It's just a matter of whether it's going to be this season.
Yeah, which jersey will it be next? We saw popcorn. We've seen this fun gray one.
Official tally, 203-202. Zavala defeats Grambling. The newcomer, Melanie McDaniel, will make her first career Stepladder Finals appearance. That is coming up next, but first a word from Rotogrip, and then a Rotogrip bowling ball of choice. That's next on BowlTV.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Johnson.
Hi, I'm Shannon O'Keefe, and this is Duo.
Announcing the latest breakthrough from Rotogrip, the Duo, a new symmetrical bowling ball that performs on and off the lanes. HP3 striking power. Plus, a portion of every Duo purchase will be donated to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. That's Big Brothers and Big Sisters everywhere.
We're Shifani, and that's the Duo from Rotogrip.
Teaming up to make a difference. For Big Brothers and Big Sisters, you and the Duo from Rotogrip.
Passing my love of bowling down to my daughter has been a gift, and I'm praying that one day she becomes better than Dad.
It's become a very important part of my life. My name's Jeremy Hatcher, and I've been bowling certified since 1989.
If you're for bowling, bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
If you're for bowling, bowl certified.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, a bit of a shocker that we just witnessed. Hope Grambling looking for, at the very least, 9-spare strike to win, 9-spare 9 to tie. And a ball, again, on that right lane, Sid, that just did not quite get up the hill. She had left it 2-4-8 earlier, or 2-8-10 earlier in the match. Both she and Stephanie Zavala kind of battling that right lane. And in the end, it was not the friend of Hope Grambling.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to hope that Melanie McDaniel has been paying attention to this and will choose to finish the match on the left lane. She will have that choice. It would go against everything we know about higher seeds picking the left lane to finish the match. But overall, we haven't seen a single person who has won a match miss on the left lane.
That is correct. A very intriguing situation that is brewing. And first and foremost, let's take you to Melanie McDaniel, because these shots are very important, I think. For Mel, she has been able to play her A game. And by the way, the Rotogrip Bowling Ball of Choice giveaway is now officially underway. She has been just herself throughout these 2 days of competition in this particular event. Obviously, it's a short pattern. It's something that Melanie enjoys, and she is, to be honest with you, put on a very, very, not only nice quality, but I feel like she has performed the way we anticipate professionals perform when we watch them bowl. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. You're going to hope that, you know, I said it when we actually started the tournament. It was game 1, like frame 3, and I said if Shan P doesn't make the show, something went wildly wrong. And it's the same situation. If you know what your strengths are as a professional, and short patterns are one of them for you, if you don't give the show a run, you know you've done something wrong. And I'm sure Melanie feels like, you know, I like short patterns. I hope I do great this week. And she did just that.
She did. And she did not start this Classic Series off on a good note whatsoever. She walked out of here on Thursday and contemplated just making the drive all the way home. That's how bad she felt she performed. But she said, you know what? She picked my head up. I'm going to decompress. She took the whole next day, do some self-care, got her nails done, took a long nap, and said, you know what? I'm just going to focus on executing one shot at a time. She's been in the moment. That's been one of her focuses. And here she is. Her husband, Ryan, has made the trip from Joliet, Illinois. And Melanie McDaniel, a new face, PWBA Tour.
Absolutely. It's exciting for her. It's a big moment for her and her family, and I'm sure they're all watching at home. Thrilled to see her compete today against Stephanie Zavala.
Stephanie Zavala, who was the higher seed in the previous match, did elect to have Hope Grambling start, and she ended up finishing, of course, in the right lane. That proved to be a good tactic. And Melanie, as you said, has now allowed Stephanie Zavala to start on the left lane, which means she will end on the right. And congratulations to Darren. Got yourself a Rotogrip bowling ball of choice. BowlTV marketing squad, they will be in contact via email to get all the details to get you your prize. Thank you, Rotogrip. Thank you, Brunswick. Storm Bowling Ball giveaway that is coming up next. First frame, Zavala. Another good one. And again, Zavala perfect on the left lane in the previous match. Now 8 of 8, exact same way Hope Gramley started.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel that Stephanie's ball reaction is only getting better on the left lane. We saw it be okay at the start of the match, questionable on the right lane. Both lanes, we were seeing it get much better. If she wouldn't have missed by as much as she did on her 9th frame on lane 30, we would have seen that match come to a close much sooner.
First shot from Melanie McDaniel. That's a good opening shot, especially your first time in this situation as a professional. Again, already looking comfortable. She's going to be hanging around that 1, 2, 3 board down lane for sure. And just no carry there. 10 pin to start.
Absolutely. She is throwing a sneak attack solid. It's a brand new release from the Brands of Brunswick, from the Radical brand specifically.
First frame, open frame, unfortunately. I think that is the first missed single pin that we have seen throughout here. So Melanie had to quickly reset.
You know, I feel like I've made up in my head how many different awful ways the first frame might go when I make the first show. And that is one of them, I will say. You know, you're nervous, your legs are shaking. You're not really thinking about making the 10 pin, you're thinking about like not falling down and stuff. But once you get that first frame out of the way, it feels like everything just washes away and it's all going to be fine.
Beautiful shot there in frame number 2, and that should certainly settle down nerves if there are any for McDaniel. Early 11 pin advantage for Zavala. After watching what transpired between her and Hope Gramley, certainly you would have to imagine she knows now what to look for and where she should be down lane, certainly with this ball on this right lane. Let's see. Oh, that's oh my 3, 6, 10, and I think it's just like that combination, right? You know what not to do, so you're gonna do everything you can to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I really liked that shot from Stephanie. I thought she got it exactly where she needed to down lane. The ball hooked a couple of feet too soon. It would be great to see her make a slight move to the left.
Oh, and the chop from Zavala. And if you're Melanie McDaniel, you just reclaim the lead.
Sigh of relief. We know that missed makeables haven't been a very shy occurrence. At least today, the second round of match play, it felt like, unfortunately, we were watching them relatively often. But when the lanes hook, that means spare balls also hook. And a lot of the times when we're practicing spares, we're not practicing them on short patterns. We're not practicing them when our ball is going to hook a lot. Spare balls are meant to take the lane out of play, but that only happens if your hand is forward.
Wow, what a shot there. You saw the clear difference on where this ball not only read down lane, but what it did as it saw the end of the pattern. It stopped.
Absolutely. On lane 29, Stephanie got it to the same spot down lane laterally, but front to back, it was further down the lane. So on lane 30, she was, a lot of people say, oh, she was really steep to it on lane 30, meaning she got it there very soon.
Melanie wastes no time getting up and ready to bowl. That's a good idea because it results in a double. Mentioned husband Ryan in the building, her daughter Rylan, I'm sure, and the entire family watching from home. Joliet, the entire Chicagoland area. She's got an 11 pin advantage early. The former Alabama A&M star. 4-time first team all-conference, all-SWAC. She was SWAC Bowler of the Year in 2012. 3-time All-American NTCA. Make it 3 in a row. I think you heard her husband Ryan McDaniel say hit in the crowd. And Melanie with a ton of fans in the BowlTV chat as well.
Absolutely, and I will stand corrected. Melanie is throwing a knockout bruiser. Sorry, team. BowlTV chat, they look the same.
It's a good call there because I'll tell you a note about that here in a second. Can Zavala quickly answer? She can. Oh, pins sending flying everywhere.
That one was quite good. Ball rep Sean Ryan standing right in front of me, gave it a little head nod as it went down the lane. You know, whenever he gives somebody a head nod, they did something real right.
Stephanie, bang, with a former Sam Houston State alum. Again, the left lane. It's just money, and the lead is back to 1 for Melanie McDaniel. Back to the knockout bruiser in a second.
Absolutely. Stephanie is now 10 for 10 on that left lane.
There it is. It's a good view there. Thanks, unmanned camera. Needed to push, did not. 3-6-10 there for McDaniel. Again, 33 years old from Joliet, Illinois. If my memory is correct, originally from Peru. As you see that one just knife right through the head pin. Got to get some help. And right now the difference here is Melanie has missed 2 makeable spares. Now, I certainly cannot imagine what that is like. I don't know what it feels like to make my first telecast in that regard, but I have to imagine she's trying to do what she's been doing all day. But the moment is just ever so slightly different.
I mean, you're officially in front of an audience, you know, and there's 12 women bowling. You can say, they're watching some other people. I'm just going to do my thing, and whatever happens, happens. And now it's like, okay, I'm going to bowl, and everybody knows what is happening. The moment can feel big.
We'll take that for the Governor State head coach. So if you're looking for a place to bowl, maybe you know a young woman is looking for a place to bowl. Well, your potential future coach is making their first telecast here tonight on BowlTV. Zavala to keep going. Oh my goodness. That could have been all kinds of things and ended up being 10 down.
Absolutely. Lane 30 wants to curve. She's trying to curve. More than the players would like her to. So please calm down.
But this is where Steph kind of gets in that zone, right? You look up on the scoreboard and all of a sudden she's got 4 in a row. She's 5 out of 6. She does it so quickly. It's almost like she just takes your breath away.
You look up and you're confused about how you got here.
Looking for 5 in a row. You bet. left lane continues to be dominant after the replay. Now McDaniel stepping up, frame 7, trailing by 36 pins. First 2 matches of the left lane produced 21 of 24 strikes, 27 of 30 total, and that was before Steph's last shot on that lane. Melanie, got to have it here. Roll, no. Quality shot. She's been solid at the line. Execution has looked steady. It's just been that second ball that has been the issue here for Melanie.
If there's one thing she's going to take away from today, no matter what happens at the end of the match, it's in these big moments, I have to make sure that I rely on my routines to shoot my spares. I know how to make them. You know, in these moments, she's probably got a lot going on in her brain. Her focus is a lot of other places. To me right now, it looks like she's thinking about the last one she shot at rather than being very present in, okay, I just get to shoot this next one.
She talked about this week being an emotional roller coaster. Now that lead, or excuse me, deficit is 48 pins. This match right now for her, an emotional roller coaster. Can she get a roll on the 2? No. Just for Melanie to be in this position is something else. She made a switch to 14 pounds this season after having a lot of shoulder pain last season. And ended up, she had 3 herniated discs, had to have a cortisone shot and 2 epidural injections in her cervical spine. She was out of bowling for 6 months straight. And the wry smile there from Mel. The single pin certainly, and spare shooting has been the difference here. And even before the 6 months off, she had to take 6 years off. She had a dual hip injury from a car accident. But it's Zavala. She can feel it. You're going to hear, I don't know if it's visible or audible to the viewer, but as that ball is churning down lane, you can kind of hear it either going over the label. I don't think it's the thumb hole.
No, it's the label. It's one of my favorite sounds in the sport of bowling. It's when the ball revs up over the label. I don't know, it just sounds nice. We were sitting at practice one day at Mount Mercy, and we had this lesson structure that went from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And a couple of my dudes would have lessons, and Brandon was throwing some shots, and I always would just sit on the approach like a little kindergartner, crisscross applesauce. And I would hear his ball roll over the label, and his rev rate's so high that it was just one of my favorite sounds, and I would just sit there with my eyes closed, happy as could be.
Stephanie Zavala, the 9th frame. Shannon Pluhowsky, your #1 seed, is next. And she is going to face Stephanie Zavala for the BowlTV Classic title. Certainly a combination, or you look at the strikes from Stephanie, and Melanie looked like she had what it took from a ball reaction perspective to make this a match. Unfortunately, the spare ball not been kind to Mrs. McDaniel.
This is one of those times where you just drill a new one. You say, this one's got bad juju.
This the one.
This one's got bad juju. We're gonna sign it, and we're gonna get a new one. Because it clearly is not my fault.
All right, come on, Melanie. Okay, girl.
Yeah, girl.
Let's go. So mathematically complete. McDaniel finishing things out. Very quality shot. Well, your first experience, Melanie, all in all, you take a look at the full week, and sometimes, you know, this is only a very small snippet, right? A snapshot of someone's weekend, or week in this case, 2-day event, or 3-day event when you look at the full week, but a 2-day specific event for Melanie. And she made herself some history as well as her family.
Absolutely. She's never going to forget this. She's going to be so happy to sit back and say, you know what? No, it didn't end the way that I would have loved for it to end, but I made my very first show. My husband was here. I loved doing it. I didn't give up. No matter what, I didn't give up. And she can go home knowing I did that.
And she did herself proud.
Absolutely. No one can take that away from her.
169 for Melanie McDaniel. Shout out to Tiny Human Barbecue, the new business venture for the McDaniel family, specifically her husband Ryan.
Up in our championship match, Zavala versus Pluhowsky. Who's going to take home the title of the PWBA BowlTV Classic?
All right, all three Storm reps getting a look at Stephanie Zavala. And I think she's throwing a different piece of equipment here in this 10th frame. Sean Bryan, Steve Jacobs, Eric Kraus, all looking on. What do you think for Zavala specifically? You know, and obviously she threw more than enough strikes. Even if Melanie had made all the spares, right? She was going to be in the mix no matter what. Now that she's got this full 10th frame, what are you thinking she's thinking and the ball reps are thinking when they take a look at this 10th frame and what she's trying?
Well, as Coach Lewis used to say, deep subject, you know, well, deep subject. I'm trying to see what she's going to try. It looks like a... Oh, it's not what I think it is at all. You know, BowlTV chat, you usually give me a lot of love for knowing what my bowling balls are. That one, zero clue. Stephanie really likes to throw stuff that I have no idea what they are. Like, she has this bright green one. Not a clue. Never seen it before. I don't know where she gets them. Maybe they make them just for her. I don't know.
Well, when we come back, perhaps we'll get an opportunity to talk more about that and find out what that is. We will take a break. Shannon Pluhowsky, the #1 seed, is next. First, a word from Storm, and on the other side, Storm Bowling Ball of Choice. The final ball giveaway. That's next on BowlTV.
Your game is about to get better. Introducing SPI Plus, a new digital magazine monthly from Storm. This month, practical advice from Danielle McEwen on setting goals and reaching them. Practice tips from Shannon O'Keefe and SPI Plus columns on your fit, fitness, even traveling tips. SPI Plus. Visit stormbowling.com, enter promo code 2023, and get the entire year free. Take your game to the next level with SPI Plus.
Passing my love of bowling down to my daughter has been a gift, and I'm praying that one day she becomes better than Dad.
It's become a very important part of my life. My name's Jeremy Hatcher, and I've been bowling certified since 1989.
If you're for bowling, bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
If you're for bowling, bowl certified.
And welcome back inside the Spectrum Lanes. Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett. The final bowling ball giveaway courtesy Proud Gold partner Storm is underway. Again, for the final time, the instructions remain the same. Get out of full screen. Make sure you're looking at the bottom of your video screen. You can see the prompts. Once the first countdown is done, the next will begin. And all you have to do is click Submit Entry. Miss Carol, we're 0 for 2. We got one more tonight. At worst, we can do it again on Tuesday night. I can guarantee that.
Just run it back.
Your number 1 seed tonight, Sydney Brummett, Shannon Pluhowsky. For all intents and purposes, in some ways dominant at this point as well. She's been phenomenal. Shannon's so experienced, right? So she knows exactly what this moment feels like. She's had plenty of experience in championship round appearances. She is the lone lefty. She told me before we began the telecast she was not going to throw a ton of shots on the TV pair to try to keep it as fresh as possible. The purple hammer has been the ball of choice for the majority of the time. She is sprinkled in some reactive. How do we expect to see this one going, and especially the look for one Shannon Pluhowsky?
Yeah, it's crazy to hear Robin introduce her and say that she only has 2 titles. That's wild. You know, they're both majors. This would be Shannon Pluhowsky's very first normal
It would be
tour title. Isn't that
event.
weird to say? I think that's weird to say. However, crossing with Shannon for the last 2 events has been very eye-opening. She is incredibly humble. She took time to make sure that I was comfortable. You know, she was helpful to me. I'm competing against her, and she wanted to be helpful to me. Granted, we are on the same team. We do throw the same bowling balls. We love that.
Right.
But she was so humble and just so willing to go out of her way to help anybody while she's bowling this amazing. It was wild to see. She did throw reactive on occasion on the shorter pattern. It was really only on the pairs that felt tighter down lane. I'm particularly thinking about the pair that's right next to our TV pair, 31 and 32. She threw reactive on that one. But on 29 and 30, we will more than likely see her throw urethane. And the first couple of practice shots that we saw, she threw reactive. The last thing you want to do is throw more urethane than you have to and make them tighter down lane. That's why we're going to see her not throw, or why we did not see her throw very many shots on the TV pair leading up to this match.
Makes a lot of sense there. Pluhowsky, as you mentioned, a 2-time champion on tour, 2-time major champion. And again, someone who certainly and unfortunately did not benefit, or the opposite, because there was no PWBA tour, because that number would be sky high, and we all know that at this point. But the fact that she is still where she is at age 40, she'll be 41 in a couple of months. Kind of a different way of living, right? Full family. Just added a new baby girl, Emerson, to the field with her wife, Carrie. And here she is again. Last time she was on the show, last year's Tour Championship. She was on the Made a Show to players as well. One of the more experienced players. Lefty versus righty. And again, up until this point, the left lane has been the one. We've had all righties. Will it change in some capacity for the lefty? We will find out here.
It looks like Shan is going to elect for Stephanie to start on the left lane. This is genius. From Shannon's standpoint, nobody's been on the left side of the lane, so she can play a little bit of defense here, knowing that Stephanie has not missed on the left lane. She shot 300 on the left lane.
She did.
12 for 12.
That's incredible.
You know, would you rather give her 5 for 5 or 8 for 8?
Championship match. Love on the 10. Another opportunity here for Stephanie Zavala against sinking title number 5. Just that wonderful love tap on the 10. And now Shannon Pluhowsky not throwing the purple urethane hammer. And I think that might be a Brunswick mindset.
It is.
And first shot out, 2-4-7. Patented style there for Shannon Pluhowsky. the Nebraska alum, All-American, national champion. I believe I counted just on her PWBA profile 27 gold medals. She'll take it.
Yeah, we're joking around, and yeah, she's gonna do it. We were joking around and saying how, you know, she would throw a purple as her strike ball for the last 2 days, and then she'd throw like a Innovator solid at her spares, just the most hooking ball in her bag. Just we're like, oh, you just want to make sure that one gets some shots. Got it.
Living in Dayton, originally from Phoenix, and the 7 goes for Pluhowsky.
It's a great shot. It's actually not incredibly surprising to see her not throw the purple on the fresh. It wasn't outside of those limits. She would go back and forth in our warm-up sessions of which one she was going to throw.
Zavala now to step up on this right lane where she has just been 3 of 11. Early double. Indeed.
Staying in about the same place, making sure to get it to around 3 down lane. Just wants to make sure not to get it there too early so it doesn't go through the face like it did when she left the 3, 4, 6, 7.
Zavala perfect on the left lane. And the 9-pin stops that run. Someone yelled hit there in the crowd. The 9-pin said,
It hit.
7-pin was there too for a minute.
Too hard. Just a little too hard. Pack some power behind that one.
A long kind of exhale right there at the air dryer. The ball return before the process starts. Again, bowled collegiately at Sam Houston State. Did Stephanie Zavala. See her give high five there to her roommate Julia Bond, just off camera down that angle. That's got a hook. And just a 3-pin.
Goes just a touch too long. Not quite such a surprise seeing how the last one 2-4-7'd. A usual bowling miss, yeah. I missed to the right. Next one. I'm gonna make sure not to miss to the right.
Pluhowsky trailing by 9. A future Hall of Famer without question. 23-time Team USA member. That's on the adult team. 23 in a row, by the way. Through the nose, the split situation here. 4-7-10.
It appears that Shannon's not comfortable. And an unfortunate miscue there from her, missing all of the pins that were on the deck.
actually rare, just no chance of getting count there. So the lead is now 25 pins for Stephanie Zavala. Fourth frame, Stephanie, that's through the nose. That's slicing again, 3-6-10.
After Stephanie's second frame, Shannon was probably like, man, maybe she knows what's going on both lanes now, but this gives her a little hope that even though she's had that unfortunate miscue in the fourth frame with a split and then getting 0, that she will have hope that, you know, if I just make 4 or 5 good shots in a row with great outcomes, I have a chance at winning this match.
All right, she handles that spare. If you are just joining us, our opening match saw Hope Gramley defeat Kelly Kulick 259-216. Gramley went on to face Stephanie Zavala, the number 3 seed, and Zavala snuck by with a 1-pin victory, 203-202. Our semifinal, Zavala defeated number 2 seed Melanie McDaniel 224-169, and here we are in the title match. Bang.
Another great shot on the left lane from Stephanie. Gonna chat with ball rep Sean Ryan right in front of us.
Pluhowsky now will step up with 22 pins. Someone in the chat just saw it, said that purple's coming out, and there it is.
Saw her get down real close to our Brands of Brunswick ball rep Mike Wolf and say, purple? I would assume they agreed.
And that's a good decision. Light mixer. This one far from over, but a double certainly here would go a long way. At that chamois, wiping that oil off that urethane. Oh, yes, indeed. That was a confident and well-executed shot there, Sydney Brummett.
It was. That shot was match-defining in my eyes. If that one strikes, it's clear, hey, I started with the wrong ball, wrong strategy. Bowling is simply a strategy game. Every player at this level has very similar abilities. It's who has the best strategy. And if it's not working, how quickly can I find the right one?
Zavala looking for a double again, and nothing on the deck for Zavala. Just watch it, Paul.
Slight move to the left.
Why do you think?
The last shot, I don't think she hated that much. She did not expect it to hook enough to 3-6-10. When she came back to chat with Sean Ryan, it's probably like, well, what do I do to get it to do the right thing on this lane? It's been tricky. Do I move left? I don't know. I might 210. Do I throw it faster? Do I get it there later? There are so many options to choose from.
Well, she's been great on this lane. And greatness continues.
She's sliding at least 2 further left on the right lane. It's been true throughout this match and our matches just 2 days ago that the right lane hooks quite a bit earlier than the left.
For 3 in a row. Come on. She just instantly looks a bit more comfortable.
Absolutely. It's like magic. When bowlers feel more comfortable, it's all of a sudden they throw it better.
Is it sometimes as simple as, hey, this is maybe, it looks like it's the right piece of equipment, but your body's rejecting it, almost in a sense. It's that. We can talk more about that on the other side here. Big shot, Pluhowsky. That one comes up light, maybe a touch firm and fast.
Yeah, you can see it. Shannon will tell you exactly what happened. She'll come back off of this one and just, you'll see her arm rotate around it a little bit. Didn't quite catch it the way she wanted to. She'll convert this fair though.
3-5 because Pluhowsky bowls so quickly, and there's been our fair share of strikes. This one's quickly coming to a conclusion here. 24 pin advantage for Zavala, working on a 3-bagger. 222 max for Shannon Pluhowsky. Max score 266, stepped out immediately and gets a good break there. Just a 3-6. There was the 3-6-9-10 momentarily.
That had the potential to be 4 pretty easily. Three, 6. Still not a gimme spare. No spare has been a gimme. Starting at 2 p.m.
This afternoon's round of match play was not the best for spare shooting, certainly. An important spare certain here. Again, nursing a 22 pin advantage, but a comfortable Shannon Pluhowsky now. Oh, that one was looking like it was about to hook and then take the 3 right off the 6. Watch how close this is.
When she made that, my brain said, thankful, grateful, blessed. You know, that sign you always see inside Hobby Lobby. Thankful, grateful, blessed.
Oh, okay. So we know what you did on your day off.
It's Sunday. Hobby Lobby's closed.
Closed on Sunday.
Closed on Sunday.
You're my Chick-fil-A. Ninth frame, Zavala. Well, you can just ring it up on the left lane. And now forcing Pluhowsky to get all of them.
It's impressive from Stephanie. The left lane, she could have easily gotten to this mindset of autopilot, where it was just, oh, I know what's going on this lane. I'm just going to get up here and throw it. And she never did. She always took her time, stayed in her routine.
Bang. Had to have it. We've seen this situation already during the Stepladder final. Stephanie Zavala threw all 3 in the 10th following an open against Hope Gramley and forced Hope to get 9 spare strike. Hope went 7 on the first shot to lose by 1.
Unfortunately, that has been the MO of Stephanie in these match play rounds in this Stepladder final, giving her opponents the opportunity to win the match.
Gotta have it. Oh, 10-pin remains. And now Pluhowsky, the best she can do is 202. She will take care of the spare. Again, Pluhowsky, Phil. He's got 202. Looking at just 5 for Zavala. Boy, yeah, you never second guess it, Sid. But she looked damn comfortable with that purple hammer.
She did. And it's a tough call when you're going in between multiple pieces of equipment. You have to go with the one that your gut says. You simply hope that you're right.
Zavala for a 5th title. That's plenty. Stephanie Zavala, her 5th PWBA title in 2 seasons. She is the winner of the BowlTV Classic, the second event of the Classic Series here in Grand Rapids. A spare for good measure. The smile. How about this run for Stephanie Zavala? We talk about young faces, the future of the tour, folks. It's on display every week. The official 223 to 202. Zavala defeats Pluhowsky. Emotion. Hugs to Chris. Julia Bond, her tour roommate, waiting for a hug as well. She will go grab the trophy. We will have that presentation for you here in a second. And we will talk with Stephanie Zavala in just a little bit. All right. Stephanie Zavala, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
5 titles. I was just telling Sid, we're talking about your career, how short it is, right? Young career, you've got 5 already. Have you fathomed that? Like, did you picture this when you stepped out on this PWBA tour journey?
I didn't think it would come this easy. I was hoping for it. I dreamt for it. But to be honest, this is more than I could have expected. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
This pair of lanes in the left lane, statistically, and it was evident, right, seemed to be the better for almost every competitor, including yourself. You were at one point perfect on the left lane. How did you see the left and the right lane, and what adjustments did you have to make on the right lane to ultimately get this title?
Left lane felt a little walled. I knew as long as I took my time, reached through, everything was going to be fine on the left. The right lane I had tighter, and it was tighter everywhere. It was tighter earlier, mid, and later. We did try a fill ball in that second match, and didn't look great, so we were like, well, we're going to grind it out with the burner pearl. And it was funny because if I went right, it was space, but if I went even one board left, it was a flat 10. And we're like, well, what's going to be the safer option? And as long as I catch it a little bit extra, then the right lane was going to be okay.
What does it mean to have Chris behind you, Jules behind you for these matches? Does that play a role into all of this?
Absolutely. They do a whole lot to make sure my head stays in it and keep me calm. Little bit of distraction. You know, obviously we don't want to bowl distracted, but that little bit of, hey, how's your day going? What's your favorite color kind of conversations, just to keep your mind off of the situation. And it feels so good to have Chris and Jules behind me, absolutely.
You know, earlier during match play, and every player seemed to kind of have a moment where they either missed a makeable, missed a single pin. You had a couple matches that looked like you were going to gain the win and get the bonus, and you had some unfortunate mishaps. How were you able to kind of make sure you eliminated that from your mindset before you took the lanes for the championship?
You just got to have short-term memory. You know, I did enough to get here, and regardless of what happens in one frame, you just got to think, because I know I opened, I think, in the second frame, and I was like, well, there's 8 frames left to go. Anything can happen. You know, you just got to forget about it, and that's really hard to do, and you want to stay stubborn about it, and I do stay stubborn about it, but especially in these situations, you just have to let it go.
If there's one thing that you're going to take from this win today that you're going to put in your pocket and say, I hope to remember this forever, is there a moment?
I don't know if I can pinpoint a moment. I think it was definitely that title match, just kind of knowing I can go up there, get count, and winning feels really good. So it's just that winning moment when you can finally say, take a deep breath, you're a champion, you did it. Now go have some dinner because I'm really hungry.
And we will let you do that. We know you got some other media obligations, so congratulations again, Stephanie, your 5th title, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.
Appreciate it.
That is Stephanie Zavala. She will then talk with Gene Koenig, who will have our full recap on PWBA.com. What a moment, obviously, for Stephanie Zavala. Again, as we bring you back into the booth here in just 1 second. Sydney Brummett, talk about putting a bow on things. How can you sum up what we saw here, thinking, what we had with Kelly Kulick, obviously USBC Hall of Famer, one of our great young players in Hope Gramley, Melanie McDaniel making her first career telecast, and, of course, Stephanie Zavala making her way to the title match, and again, a very tough opponent in Shannon Pluhowsky, who looked comfortable late, but almost just a little bit too late on the ball change.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, this stepladder can be summed up with just the love for bowling. We see a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer. We see Hope Gramley, who is arguably the next generation of greats. Stephanie Zavala, who's proving to be one of the best on tour right now. And Melanie McDaniel making her first show. How much heart there had to be in this telecast. Just everyone loving to be here. You could feel it when you walked into the building. It was a different kind of aura. Even this afternoon, so many players were just talking and chatting during match play, and it was cool to see how much they loved being here. I think that's what makes the PWBA. I know that's what makes the PWBA so special.
Another great job from you, Sid.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Happy to be here.
And we appreciate all of you for watching. We'd like to thank the United States Bowling Congress and the USBC Board, the BPAA Board, of course, and the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the PWBA. Kegel, also a proud gold partner along with Brunswick, Storm, and Rotogrip. Those last 3 brands we thank for their bowling ball donations, which went to 3 wonderful individuals tonight. Big thanks to certainly our athletes. They make it fun, and it was an exciting match tonight. Exciting a full stepladder final for that matter. Of course, the victor tonight is Stephanie Zavala, and certainly you, the BowlTV community, the best viewing fans in the world. We say so long for now, but join us right back here in the morning. I think we start at 10 a.m. Eastern, folks. That is correct. Jason Thomas gave me the thumbs up. 10 a.m. Eastern, we begin the Great Lakes Classic match play portions. We'll have 3 8-game blocks, so plenty of time. Sydney Brummett will be joining us for that as well. 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, right here on BowlTV. So for Jason Thomas, Gene Koenig, Robin Graves, Damon Sirocco, Devin Jones, Patrick Martinez, the wonderful folks here at Spectrum Lanes, Mike Eaton Jr., his entire family, Mike Hoffman, the wonderful Sydney Brummett. My name is Emil Williams Jr. We say so long for now. Stephanie Zavala, a champion here today. This has been a presentation of the 2023 BowlTV Classic. You watched it live and only on BowlTV.com. Bowling lives here. Good night, folks.
Great shot. Come on. Yeah!